Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2021 Rudi Pichler Federspiel Grüner Veltliner from the Wachau region of Austria. This is part of the June 2023 Somm Wine Club box. And Rudi Pichler may be a relatively new producer in terms of awareness of their estate and the quality of the wines that he's producing. But the Pichler family is a renowned name in the Wachau. There's been Pichlers producing wine and making wine around Vosendorf in the Wachau since the 1700s. And Rudi Pichler III took over from his father in 1997. He very quickly started to modernize the estate that his family had owned and operated for generations, building a new winery building in 2004, and definitely kind of fine-tuning his approach to producing Grüner Veltliner and Riesling in the Wachau region of Austria. So the Federspiel is the middle tier of style for Grüner Veltliner and Riesling in the Wachau. It means that the alcohols, when finished, are between 11.5% and 12.5% alcohol, and it's the most common style of Grüner Veltliner. This, however, is an uncommonly good Grüner Veltliner. They have an incredible depth of texture and freshness when they're done properly. And with this particular wine, it's all hand harvested, foot trodden, and then aged in stainless steel with just a little bit of lees contact to give it a little bit more texture and weight, and a short maceration cold soak with the skins to kind of draw out some of that extra texture and definition in the wine. They block malolactic completely in these wines. They don't want the wines ending up being creamy or rounded in any way. Federspiels are meant to be lively and bright and energetic, and that's exactly what you have here. I visited the Wachau in 2018, and so I've been through this area, through these vineyards, through this village, and it is striking when you are driving along the road and you look up and you see these perches of terraces, stone walls built into the side of the hillside just to contain the soil, the fractured gneiss and schist and loam that these grape varieties grow on, that date back tens, well, not tens, but hundreds and sometimes thousands of years. So let's taste the Grüner from Rudi Pichler. That makes me happy. That smell, that aroma, that bouquet of beautiful kind of just ripe apple and pear. It has this kind of golden delicious apple, this slightly ripe green pear character to it. There's still hints of citrus on the riper side of things. It's got a little bit of Meyer lemon, that lemon oil, but not quite pushing into tangerine or mandarin kind of sweet citrus. It's more lime leaf, lime oil, lemon oil, and then, like I said, all of that really beautiful apple and pear. And there's actually a little bit of kind of underripe white peach notes to it as well. Grüner has wonderful kind of balance of fruit expression. It can go from citrus to pear to apple to peach and have all of those things kind of in different layers. But there's also an underlying pepperiness and a spiciness to Grüner Veltliner, especially when it's done well. You get this kind of freshly ground white pepper, this little touch of almond, like marzipan, but not sweet. It's like dried almond extract. And I love the kind of subtle grassiness and green savory quality of Grüner Veltliner. It's a wine that I share with people that like Sauvignon Blanc a lot of the time because it has, again, just a hint of that little bit of green herbal spice character that people who like Sauvignon Blanc like, but it also has so much more dynamic texture and feeling and weight in the mouth. This is a medium-bodied white wine, but it has, like I said, an uncommon amount of texture and definition. Sometimes people are scared off by the Hock bottle, by this tall, skinny flute bottle that's common in Germanic countries, in Alsace, Germany, Austria, because they associate it with Riesling and they associate it with sweetness. But Grüner Veltliner is very rarely, if ever, perceptibly sweet. The only time that you might get one that's like just a little bit is like a late harvest, but very uncommonly, most of these wines are quite bone dry and they're refreshing and tangy and tart. And this is no exception. This is almost no sugar here. It's like 2.5 grams of sugar per liter, which is well within the realm of being a fully dry wine. It's even labeled Trocken on the back, which is the German word for dry. And the acidity here is scorching, fresh, bright, lively, zesty. It's more citrus on the palate than it is on the nose. On the nose, you smell that apple pear and a little bit of peach. On the palate, it's lots of lime zest and lime and lemon and tart and crunchy and more mineral water and river stones and wet rocks. It has a lot of kind of almost saline character to it. It seems like salty earth, and it has so much texture and so much extract in the way that they produce the wine that it almost feels like tannin. You can actually feel a little bit of grip in the wine in your mouth when you have a sip and you swallow, and afterwards you can kind of rub your tongue on the roof of your mouth or the sides of your mouth and you'll feel this grit. That's just the amount of dry extract, the amount of texture that they're able to coax out of the skins when they do that cold soak to kind of pull out additional weight. Grüner is a spectacular wine for food because of all of those different things going on: the freshness, the acidity, the brightness, the texture, the definition, the concentration of fruit. It's kind of like a sommelier's secret weapon for food and wine pairing because it works with difficult to pair dishes and foods because of the little bit of bitterness, a little bit of herbal, a little bit of green, spicy, savory. So things like artichokes or asparagus or like green vegetables where there's bitterness, like mustard greens or arugula, can be challenging for wine because some wines will highlight the bitterness, where this kind of gives just enough of its own that they kind of play off of each other and without making anything pop. It also has, like I said, so much acidity that you can play it off of fatty dishes. Like you think about traditional dishes of Eastern Austria, and you're looking at like schnitzel, and there is Eastern European influences like Hungary. So you have all of these like fatty pork cuts, sausages, and things like that. Grüner is great for that. It also can handle the aromatics of like dishes like Indian curries or Thai or Chinese, where you've got aromatic spices and things that are playing with that bitterness again, like lemongrass or cilantro. There's so much potential, so many different things that you can do, that it always pays to have Grüner on hand, because who knows what you're going to run into when you just start playing around in that fridge. Makes me want to go back to Austria so bad. If anybody from V Venom is watching, I will gladly go back and hang out at V Venom again. That was fantastic. I'm really excited to share wines of the Wachau, wines from Rudi Pichler, with everybody in this month's box. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this wine, please leave a comment. Let me know. I'd love to talk more about the wines of Rudi Pichler and the wines of the Wachau in Austria. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.